Hello and welcome back into the second game of the day between Anarchy Purple versus Sentinels. Joining me for as my color caster is going to be Baby, aka Hunter. Hunter, how you feeling? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good, Ryder. How are you doing?
Doing just fantastic here. I'm pretty excited for this game. I have watched Sentinels in the past, and have you gotten a chance to ask them about their chicken, Hunter?
I haven't got a chance to ask anyone about their chicken yet, unfortunately. I've had a had a bit of a busy week cleaning some stuff up. But as soon as I get a chance to get in contact with all these teams, I really do want to know what their favorite type of chicken is.
Oh, I'm ready. And without further ado, let's hop into game. And Hunter, I want your insights on laning phase and how this game's gonna turn out.
Absolutely. Great. Now, as we get into game here, we get a chance to look at these lane matchups. And starting up in the top lane, we see an Ornn versus a Mordekaiser. It's, it is an Ornn lane. It's going to be an Ornn lane. The Mordekaiser can try and pressure the Ornn. The Ornn's not going to have too much ability to pressure the Mordekaiser, as per usual in this sort of matchup. Mordekaiser will do a lot more DPS, but Ornn will scale into team fights a lot better. I'm not sure. I think it depends a lot on Ornn itemization for split push winning and stats in that respect. But I'd expect to see the Ornn be able to match the Mordekaiser this whole game, and by virtue of that, it should be a good lane for the Ornn itself. In a jungle, we see a Warwick versus a Sejuani. Both of them are pseudo farm to 6 junglers. Both of them have reasonable gank setup pre-6 though, even with that said, so it'll be interesting to see what paths they take, and that could dictate a lot of the early game. Mid lane, we see Lux versus Syndra. Syndra's notoriously annoying to play against, just massive amounts of damage and really high kill threat, but due to the fact that she's laning against Lux and there's a Sejuani jungle, she's been forced to take cleanse. And with that cleanse, her kill pressure is going to be a lot lower. And on top of that, Lux, just really long range champion, really easy to avoid getting hit by Scatter the Weak, and should have a really easy time just farming up in this lane. And bot lane, we see Leona and Kog'Maw going into the Morgana Ezreal. Obviously, Morgana and Ezreal both really good at shutting down what Leona wants to do. All in fights in lane phase can be really easily avoided between Arcane Shift and Black Shield. But Kog'Maw is just going to be able to farm up against this lane because they have almost no laning pressure realistically unless binding hits. And we see the cleanse on the Kog'Maw to ensure that one binding will never be enough.
Very interesting. Very interesting. We do see that the junglers are just doing full clears, trying to get level 6 as fast as possible. Who do you think will be the first target in each jungler's eyes?
Well, seeing as there's 2 cleanses coming out on the side of Sentinels, it'll be very difficult for the Sejuani to find a gank. But as I say that, we do see her pathing down for a lane gank bot lane, perhaps trying to burn that cleanse early.
Ooh, very interesting. He does get in the butt there. I'm not
Does
sure if they saw her. I don't know if they saw her or not. But this could be a little sneaky gank there. I think she's going through the alcoves, actually. Very interesting to sneak around. We do also see Warwick posturing over there as well. We might have a very interesting fight in a couple seconds.
I think the Warwick there to try and counter gank the
There goes
Sejuani.
the Sejuani. There's a flash from Kog'Maw, binding in from Morgana there. Heal going out to save Sejuani. Exhaust going down onto Warwick. The E, the Q, the combo from Leona trying to take down the Morgana. She does bind off the Leona in the backline, but it is not enough for Kog'Maw. Kog'Maw will come up and take the kill and take down Sejuani. First blood, Kog'Maw.
Yeah, and that's going to be really big. It's a great counter gank coming out of Lightning from the side of Sentinels. Meanwhile, on Anarchy Purple, I think the Sejuani did end up getting spotted out going in, but
another combo coming up from the Leona. She does snag the Ezreal. Morgana is quick enough to really get that black shield up onto Ezreal. saving his life from the potential Q threat. But there's another fight mid lane. Warwick is going to chunk down, get the nice E off, get a nice Q off, and Syndra,
What?
that champion over there. You know that purple mage over there? You
What
see that purple?
champion was
You
that?
see the Syndra? That one.
Syndromeda in the mid lane. They didn't have to use any summoners to get that nice gank going off mid lane. Lux postured to the bot side, a little bit of a mistake, knowing that the Warwick was on just ganked bot lane and could roam up through river. But Lux does have teleport, good for her, and the fact that she won't be missing any CS to turret. The wave can't be shoved in; she'll just TP in. She'll be able to catch all of her EXP. So at the end of the day, it's not the worst thing in the world for her. We see Leona bot lane. She's making a lot of trades onto the Ezreal for mana. The Leona gets chunked out in a lot of these trades, but using Arcane Shift in lane phase pre-tier for Ezreal is really brutal on his mana pool. Warwick's posturing mid again, walking through, trying to get down to the bot side Scuttle Crab, despite it already being killed by him, I suppose. And now it actually looks like they're looking at a early dragon with Sejuani on the top side and the bot lane resetting. This dragon might actually be free.
Yeah, I think they're gonna pick up that dragon uncontested.
Alright, so, well, top lane is Ornn lane, as I said earlier. We see Ornn's already starting to pick up his magic resist and just trading with the Mordekaiser when possible. Mordekaiser has his shield, so it should be pretty hard to kill him.
Ooh, flash on both sides of top side. Mordekaiser does put him into the Shadow Realm. Gonna duel him out. And Ornn's just gonna walk away. Nice counter with the turning around and pressing his W, really burning down the Mordekaiser. Getting out of the passive from Mordekaiser was key there in that victory for Ornn.
Yeah, that's actually one of the more unique Ornn combos I've ever seen. Normally you want to Q on Ornn and then you have to wait a second so that it spawns in time for your Searing Charge to knock people up. But going for the Q on Ornn into the Searing Charge immediately so that he gets behind his own pillar and buys him enough time for his Bellows Breath to come up and get the kill onto that Mordekaiser. It was a really interesting play.
Very good trade by Ornn. I was impressed. It was very clean. Very clean.
Something also interesting to note in the Ornn Mordekaiser matchup is not only does Bellows Breath make you CC immune, that means that if Mordekaiser ults you while you're breathing on him, it actually doesn't do anything. The Ornn will just stay there and the Mordekaiser ult will go on cooldown. And on top of that, as a counterplay, rather, as a Mordekaiser player, and we see Syndra coming bot lane, but it looks like Ezreal will just get out of that stun. The counterplay to that as the Mordekaiser, during Searing Charge, which is the dash on Ornn, his E, you can actually ult him.
Oh, we're seeing a nice skirmish bot lane. There's a Morgana binding going onto Leona. They're just going to keep chunking her down. There is Ignite onto Ezreal. They do have enough damage. Nico knee goes down on the Leona's kneecaps. The Q binding for Morgana going in, but Kog'Maw is hefty. Kog'Maw's going to get that nice double kill.
How long have you been saving that?
I've been waiting for that moment this whole game.
You saw
I saw the name.
See a gank coming in top lane.
Nice top lane gank. Great damage from the Ornn, from the Warwick, taking out Mordekaiser. That will put Ornn into a huge lead.
Yeah, and actually at this point, the Mordekaiser might have to start being careful in this lane. We see the Proto Belt likely coming out for the side of the Mordekaiser, and that's not going to do him much good in the trades against this Ornn. It's mostly going to be looking at nuking the Syndra or the Kog'Maw come mid and late game. So, and free wave clear, of course. So he's going to actually have probably a hard time trading with this Ornn, especially once the Abyssal Mask comes out and Merc treads. It'll be really... I expect to see a CS advantage develop there in the future.
Very much so. I couldn't agree more. Now, we do see a little bit of a gold lead going in favor of Team Sentinel. What does Anarchy Purple have to do to counteract this and get right back to even?
Well, on the bot side of the map, I'd like to say that Ezreal has a scaling advantage here, but he does have... He's against a Kog'Maw. He has a mid-game advantage. He has a mid-game power spike when he completes either his Manamune and his Triforce, or his Glacial Fist thing. I wish I remember what it was called.
Iceborne Gauntlet?
Iceborne Gauntlet, Frozen Fist,
Yep.
yeah, that one. And that'll give him a little bit of power spike, and really fighting around the Ezreal power spike is likely the best chance for Anarchy Purple to take this game. Sejuani will be really strong then. Lux skills well.
Nice engage from Sejuani, forcing this stun, but she does cleanse the Sejuani ultimate. Warwick does come up for a counter engage here. Leona's here. Warwick ults. Leona flashes, dodging that, but can't leave from the Leona EQ combo. Mordekaiser coming in, ulting her down. There goes the Lux ulti, taking out Leona. They're fighting. Warwick's in the middle of all of this. Syndra's not dead. Syndra lives. Mordekaiser goes down to Warwick. Warwick's in trouble. Ornn ulti going down. Not enough to stop them. Lux does pick up the kill onto Warwick. That is a very large lead and will help in the lane in favor of Anarchy Purple mid lane.
Yeah, the Lux getting the double kill there is really big. So Lux is really going to be the hardest scaling champion on the side of Anarchy Purple, and getting her to her power spike sooner is really going to help. Really, Lux wants to get closer to level 16 with her death cap as well as her mana items, and once she gets there, she'll be able to consistently wave clear or one-shot people.
Good call, Kog'Maw. Good call.
Yeah,
Kog'Maw does cleanse that Morgana bind. Knowing that his team's not around and knowing that he's not safe because Sejuani did walk around the corner as well.
Yeah, but we do see the Ornn sticking around on the bot side of the map, posturing around this dragon, looking to pick up this Mound Dragon and start towards an early soul for the side of Sentinels.
Yes, I couldn't, I agree. We will probably see a Cloud Soul, knowing our luck here, Hunter.
Yeah.
Quick 50-50. Lux almost stole that.
Yeah, but that wasn't even on mission, actually.
Oh! Infernal. Oh!
Alright, it's not a Cloud Soul. We had
really I
think 5 or 6 Cloud Souls yesterday. It wasn't fun. Alright, so Infernal. Infernal's gonna be good for both teams. I wish there was more to it. It gives you damage, and that is good on everyone. Both sides build pretty similar amounts of damage. If anything, actually, Kog'Maw doesn't build damage. He builds a lot of on-hit traditionally, as well as attack speed. So the Kog'Maw's not actually going to get the same advantage out of it as the Mordekaiser, Ezreal, and Lux. Syndra's going to get a lot of use out of it, though, and Warwick should get a fair amount of use out of these Infernals as well if he goes for, like, the bruisery on-hit sort of build.
We see an Ornn ulti coming in. The Warwick is going to be focusing down onto Mordekaiser. Nothing will really come of that. Warwick will just leave. The Sejuani comes in with the combo. Doesn't quite land on the ultimate there. Lux ultiing in, but not enough damage. We do see Warwick now, knowing that Sejuani was mid, knowing that Sejuani was low. Oh no! Warwick ulti taking out the boar.
That's a really good read, actually, coming out of Lightnings again. The Warwick just sitting in the bush, waiting for the Sejuani, knowing that she's going to come topside to clear her camps after that gank, and just picks her up, picks up the red buff, might even steal a couple more camps while he's here. And then he's looking top lane now and able to focus on this Mordekaiser once the Ornn gets back. In the mid lane, we see that the Syndra's developed about a 10 CS advantage. Not the end of the world. Both players on Sork boots and the Lost Chapter, getting their
Warwick
mana.
is back topside. Mordekaiser sending him to the Shadow Realm. Is it going to be enough damage to take out the Warwick? They are in a nice skirmish. The ult does fade away. Mordekaiser does flash away from the initial burst of Ornn from Warwick, and Warwick's just going to heal it up with his Q.
Yeah, that Warwick's going to be really hard to kill for the time being, just between his healing and his just raw tanky stats and his Cinderhulk. It's going to be very difficult to pick up the kills there. See more engages coming in bot lane, more trades of Leona HP and cooldowns for Ezreal mana. This can be okay. It gets a little bit less effective once the Ezreal picks up all these mana items, and he should be able to just out-sustain the Leona HP bar with his mana pool.
Now, Morgana quick to the binding on Ezreal there. Sorry, Black Shield, I should say. They don't really take much damage. There goes the EQ combo from Leona, knowing that Black Shield is down, getting the W proc onto Morgana. Kog'Maw does finish her off with those auto attacks, with that barrage of blah, and takes her out with his ultimate.
Yeah, and if there's one thing you have to be careful about in this lane, it is the Black Shield cooldown. If it is on cooldown, the Morgana is super vulnerable to the Leona engage, and the Leona, representing that she knows this, keeps going in repeatedly as soon as she gets her cooldowns back up, which are a lot shorter than Black Shield in the early game, and really punishing the Morgana for that.
This Kog'Maw is 4-0. This Kog'Maw is going to be getting to his power spike a lot faster.
Yeah, this Kog'Maw's really far ahead right now, but if there is one saving grace for the side of Anarchy Purple, it's that the Kog'Maw has no heal, per se. They have an Ornn ulti, and they have just raw things to stand in front of it, a la normal AD carry, but when you see Kog'Maw, it's traditionally paired with picks like Lulu. And just making the Kog'Maw invulnerable and able to essentially stand still in team fights is really important to playing it.
Whoa! That was a nice combo from Syndra, going in with the Q, getting the W into the east, well, engaging with the E, going in with the W, getting that Q proc as well with the ultimate. It just was an utter burst fest, and Lux could not handle it.
Yeah, Lux gets hit by the gameplay button mid lane. Syndra now coming out to 2-0-2. It's a really nice snowball started for her, which means she should be able to blow people up going into this mid game. And we continue to see Sentinels' advantage mount. While the Ezreal is still trying to scale, he still doesn't have his Triforce or his Frozen Gauntlet. Top lane's still a nothing fest. Black Shield's going to come in handy here, but it actually gets broken by the Kog'Maw damage.
Wow, that was a lot of bursts from Kog'Maw. Great damage, and basically forces almost Morgana out of lane. She's unable to... Whoa! Lux again, almost stealing another dragon. Not quite, though. Syndra does take it.
Again, these Lux ultis are sort of nutty because they have no vision on the dragon. They don't know what the HP is, and the Lux is just ulting pretty much over the frame they die every single time without it. That's pretty insane.
It's pretty crazy. I really like the prediction from Lux. I really like that awareness she has of the map, trying to really track her enemy team here.
Yeah, we do see in trade for the dragon, there will be the Rift Herald picked up by the Sejuani on the side of Anarchy Purple, but this is sole point now for Sentinels, and that means they're going to force a fight in the next 5 minutes.
Warwick engaging onto Sejuani here. He does ulti. There goes the Sejuani. I'm having fun button. Presses R, takes out Sejuani, and that's a turret for the side of Anarchy Purple, but that's a kill on the side of Sentinels.
Yeah, and that's, you don't want to be giving any more kills to this Syndra right now. I don't know if it's going to accurately change how much of a one-shot potential she's going to have onto these backline carries, but it's not going to be great for the magic resist stacking that'll come later in this game if there gets to be that chance at all. Absolutely. With the Infernals spawning in 3 minutes and 30 seconds, it's going to be really hard for the site.
Oh, nice combo from Lux. Chipping down the Leona, and Morgana actually gets the bind as well, securing the kill. Those binds, you're not moving. You're staying right there, and we're going to smack you with our wands and with our magic.
That looked like a nerf game right there. That Leona couldn't move.
That was a lot of, that was well timed on both sides. Well,
yeah,
on Morgana and Lux there.
That's good CC layering there from the side of Anarchy Purple to pick up the Leona. Leona looks to be the sacrificial lamb this game, will be picking up most of her team's deaths. So, going into this dragon fight, what needs to happen? I really think that this Ezreal needs to have Triforce completed, if at all possible, so that they have a fighting chance at, well, winning a team fight. Ornn's still pretty big. Mordekaiser's got a good CS lead top lane, but not the items required to one-shot some of the carries on the side of Sentinels. And this Warwick is just so far ahead of this Sejuani in gold, in levels, and in stats that it's going to be really, really hard for her to win this smite.
Very well said. We do see a nice trade coming in from top side here. We do get the combo from Ornn, but the passive from Mordekaiser is something key in these duels. It is what's going to make or break the fight. Long extended trades will favor the Mordekaiser, so as long as Ornn is in his bubble.
Yeah. And from the Ornn side, he just doesn't really want to trade. He doesn't care. He just wants to cast his abilities on the minions and poke the Mord incidentally whenever possible. This is an Ornn lane. This is what Ornn does. He clears minions and he pokes you if you have the audacity to try and trade with him. And then sometimes he one-shots you. Because he's Ornn.
Sometimes he gets that little proc, and then you have a little dot on top of your head, and he says, Ornn goes, I'm gonna build on your face, and auto attacks you.
Yeah, we see Sejuani picking up the blue. They're trying to get her levels back. The Warwick is level 11 right now, which is quite a large level advantage over the Sejuani, who just hit level 10. The Warwick himself should actually be hitting level 12 fairly soon as well. Bot lane, Kog'Maw is still super ahead, looking to finish off his Bork. They're actually gone Australian on us, now they're top side with it. But looking to
like
rotate.
Both teams just kind of switched lanes and really put the map on its back.
But we see the Sentinels bot lane is resetting now, trying to head down to this dragon, knowing that the soul point is going to be super, super important for them to win. And on the other side of things, we see the Anarchy Purple bot lane just rotating down, clearing some vision on their way.
Very excited to see what's going to happen when these two teams really collide. I don't think we've seen a team fight quite break out.
It's just been a lot of picks thus far. We see the Sejuani get onto the Ornn, but
Ornn presses W. Large damage coming out onto Sejuani. Ornn ulting, knocking up the Lux, keeping her out of the fight. She does flash away. Warwick is ulting the Mordekaiser. He is going to just keep doing that 1v1, is going to keep poking him down. And the other members of Sentinel are going to be just forcing Lux, or forcing Ezreal, and forcing Morgana back into the jungle and saying, stay away, this is ours, and we're going to be taking... Oh my, Lux! Lux almost does it again. One of these days, it was going to work, but unluckily for her, that Warwick has his smite and is watching those numbers, takes the dragon. They have soul.
Yeah, at least that time the Lux had vision, so it made more sense, but really great play from the Lux anyways to go for the attempt. We see binds coming in over the wall.
Nice. Leona ulti there, getting a 2-stun off onto the Ezreal and onto the Mordekaiser, and Ornn doing the same to their front line, getting a nice stun off on the side wall there, getting the Sejuani, getting the Mordekaiser. And what's happening here? Leona spots as a mage. She's going to be attacking. She's going to be auto-attacking. There's the Kog'Maw. He's auto-attacking more. They do get an exhaust on him. He's going to wait it out, but he still wants blood. Leona is clearing some wards in the back here. I think they're just going to be doing a quick reset and then waiting for another fight. Scratch that. There's Leona. She's flashing away. There's Lux ulti. Lux ulti punishes Leona for staying so long in her jungle.
Yeah, and these teams don't just don't want to reset as people right now. They're like, I want to keep fighting. I want to keep pressing my advantage. Sentinel says, we have the Infernal Soul. We're going to push down mid, and we're going to look to punish you for giving us these early dragons as much as possible. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the Sejuani. The pick, as in the catch in the river before Soul there. The Sejuani finds the Ornn and tries to harass him a little bit, but it's not ever going to be enough to get any substantial damage down onto this Ornn. He's super tanky, he has his Abyssal Mask, and his Merc Treads. He's incredibly resistant to the magic damage coming out of the side of Anarchy Purple. And the Sejuani just oversteps a little bit, has her passive broken early, and just gets one shot immediately after, leading to her team's inability to contest the last dragon. But
Very well said here. It should be very interesting to see what they're going to transition to next after getting an early 4 dragons on the side of Sentinel.
yeah, and I think this is one of the earliest souls we've seen.
We do see a 3-man onto Mordekaiser. Whoa!
He doesn't. Kog'Maw is fed. He doesn't care.
Did he cleanse out of the Mordekaiser ulti there?
He did, but the Mordekaiser was already dead.
Yeah.
that Kog'Maw did, in fact, cleanse out. It was totally unnecessary. And that's actually something interesting to talk about, too. This Kog'Maw has cleanse, and he has QSS now.
Very interesting there. They almost got a pick on Sejuani there. She has that resistance to slow, so when she dashed out of that, the Leona ulti didn't really affect her, except for some damage.
Yeah, just crocking that passive a little bit. This Kog'Maw, with double cleanse now, though, gonna be really, really hard to lock down in team fights. The Sejuani ulti is gonna be useless. The Mordekaiser ulti is already useless because of how fed the Kog'Maw is. And the Lux Morgana binds. You're going to have to hit 2 of these on this Kog'Maw somehow consecutively in team fights to be able to lock him down.
That Sejuani just did a QE combo onto Morgana and 50% or more HP just vanished.
Yeah, and the Syndra's super far ahead right now, looking to output a ton of burst damage. Does complete the Morellonomicon, and I'm going to go LS on this a little bit. Morello's a bad item if they don't have a bunch of healing, and that team does not have any healing. We see an engaged looking here.
The Sejuani again. Warwick ulting Mordekaiser. It falls, and they might be looking for more. They do have a pick on to the Warwick. Good CC, but they do have a Mordekaiser, Morgana rather, flashing in, getting a 4-man ulti off, but she isn't able to survive enough to get the lockdown on all of them. Leona's going to be EQing on to Lux. Lux is going to be CCing. They're going to be focusing Leona right now. They do pick off Leona, and that's a good trade on the side of even trade 2 for 2, but
Very close
Nico
at the end there.
Lives for another day.
Very close there. From the Syndra's perspective, almost connects with the kill for the auto attack. Doesn't quite get the W down in time thanks to the Ezreal flash. Syndra outputting an absurd amount of damage. Warwick's still really chonky in his mid-game power spike. And this Kog'Maw is just nearly unstoppable. Has a bunch of attack speed. Already has the Borg Rage Blade combo completed. And just is going to pretty much mow through anything that walks at him, maybe even building the Runaan's next to be able to hit 3 people at once, and once that's completed, whenever multiple people come at him, they're all going to die at once as well. It's really got to be up to this Lux and this Morgana to get the binds onto the Kog'Maw consecutively now, probably 2 or 3 of them, to be able to connect in these team fights.
Nice trade coming out from Ornn and Mordekaiser, but it's just going to be a nice slap fight here. Mordekaiser does come on top usually. Ornn has hit past level 13, so he is big. He has a huge advantage right now just from his items alone.
And we see just a free Baron come out of the side of Sentinels just because of the pressure they have on the map, because the Ornn is just immune to Mordekaiser's damage at this point. And the fact that there's just really nothing that can be done from the side of Anarchy Purple to stop them. The Ezreal's finally hit his power spike, but the Kog'Maw's already an item and a half ahead of him. Mid lanes, the Lux is looking good. She's doing a lot of damage, but that's just not enough. The jungler's so far behind, down 2 levels still. not able to get into the pit to smite steal it, and even if she does, she'll die.
Sneaky. There goes the Morgana Q, just missing. The Lux Q does land. They do try and pick off Leona, but not enough damage to really take her out here. Azula is going to be grouping with his team, with Mordekaiser soon to follow.
Yeah, and even the Lux, she isn't that far ahead. She's still down in levels and isn't going to be able to output the damage without hitting some clutch finds onto these
We might
carries.
see a little bit of a flank here, so it looks like Sentinels will just look for a fight instead of picking up Dragon. They are going to keep aggro onto it. They are going to still keep chipping it down, but they have Ornn in that choke point, really focusing everyone off. And here comes the Morgana bind. She does get a 3-person ulti off here. And there goes the Leon. They're on Morgana. Morgana goes down. Leona goes down. The 2 supports are done here. Sejuani is fighting Ornn. They are going to try and go for the steal here. Not able to. The Ezreal ulti, the Lux ulti goes up, but now they want more. The Ornn does get the ulti off on to Ezreal. They do try and knock him up, and they do. Ornn gets a double kill. Very excellent, very well executed there. And just knowing how far his E goes and is able to knock up that Ezreal with that max range knockup.
Yeah, and now at this point in the game, I think we can comfortably say it's over. The Elder and the Baron and the Infernal Soul have all been picked up from the side of Sentinels, and they're just looking to push and clean up this game, essentially. We have a 10k gold lead coming out. Kog'Maw and Syndra have still yet to die. Kog'Maw's going to receive the next Ornn upgrade as well, as soon as that Ornn gets the chance to walk over to him. Getting Might of the Ruined King to come out, and just it reads as a 10k gold advantage, but there's an Ornn, so add another 4, 5, 6,000 gold onto that. 16k gold advantage going and breaking the base with the 2 most powerful buffs in the game on them, and an Infernal Soul to top it all off. It's just going to be super, super difficult, even with good skill shots hitting here. They can't even kill the Ornn.
Fight, but they are trying. They cannot kill the Ornn. The Ornn is too tanky. He's just going to walk through turret, walk through all their damage. They're going to CC him down, but the Warwick does go in, does pick off the Sejuani here. They are going to be looking to get another inhibitor and possibly game.
How do you hurt this Ornn right now?
You don't.
Like, with the Infernal and the Elder too, I actually wonder if this Ornn could get a 1v5 pentakill right now. And he's not even the strongest member on his team.
That might be bold. That might be bold. You know, constant damage with the Mordekaiser passive up might do something to that.
We saw the Mordekaiser fight him earlier, though, and he hit everything and got a full proto belt, and he didn't even do 20% of the Ornn's HP. I really do wonder, and the Ornn's got more items since then. I really do wonder if he could have just walked into them and been like, yeah, what are you gonna do?
That's when the Ornn does his battle cry and goes in.
Yeah, and the Ornn ulti kills 3 people because of Elder and Infernal procs.
Yeah.
We will see Syndra picking up the blue, this entire team of Sentinels walking topside, cleaning this, finishing out this game in a really clean fashion, taking all of the turrets down, and all 3 inhibs. They're so far ahead here that they can afford to be safe and give Anarchy Purple absolutely no openings to come back in this game. No need to overstay, no need to let them get some shutdowns onto their carries.
Now, Leona gets immediately ulted here, knowing Mordekaiser might be in danger. I think that was just more of a safety ulti than anything. He does get black shielded as soon as he leaves the ultimate.
Yeah,
they are going to be pushing down for 3 inhibitors here now. After that, they just either wait for Baron or end it right there. Now, Ornn does go in. Doesn't quite land an ultimate on them, but he has so much health. So tanky. I don't think he can die. And there goes the Mordekaiser onto the Warwick, unable to stop the Warwick overheal here.
Yeah,
Syndra really landing a combo. Mordekaiser does fall to the minion.
And now we just see Ornn's gonna start upgrading items while sitting in the enemy team's base. We can see it being picked up. The Might of the Ruined King finally onto the Kog'Maw. Ornn's just gonna walk in.
There goes Sejuani. And they're gonna be looking for game. There goes Morgana, and this is going to be a nice win on the side of Sentinels. GG, good game, fun and interactive gameplay.
Uh, that looked pretty unassailable coming up towards the end there. Orn's unkillable, and the Syndra and Kog'Maw damage is unmatchable.
Hunter, really quick here. What's your thoughts on the MVP and ace of both teams?
Well, I'd love to give MVP to Orn just because I like seeing a big fatty Chungus at the end of any sort of game. And Kog'Maw and Syndra both played really, really well this game, but I really think so much of the early game was set up by this Warwick. Lightning's with great reads on the enemy Sejuani, either predicting counter ganks or meeting her in the jungle and just killing her or fighting her off of camps. Really, really good play coming out from them, so I think the MVP should go to the Warwick. As far as Ace is concerned, I want to give it over the Lux. She did her best, she did some wave clears, and she got some really, really, really close to stealing some of those dragons, which could have bought her team quite a lot of time this game.
Very well said. And when we come back, we're going to watch these two teams go at it one more time. We're going to take a quick break, and I'm super excited to see you all around. Hello and welcome back, folks. We're going to go into round 2 of Anarchy Purple versus Sentinels. What a fun and interactive game that was last game there, Hunter. It was very interesting on how well that team scaled and really snowballed and getting those major objectives, really going in, pushing just for the win there. Before we go into the next game, what is your thoughts on predictions for this game, what you want to see, what you don't want to see from both teams?
Exactly. So coming in from last game, Sentinels had a really powerful draft if they got ahead. The Syndra is always going to be powerful if she gets ahead. the Warwick really does need to get a little bit of an advantage so that he can make up for his lack of utility that the Sejuani has. And the Kog'Maw is, as always, quite a deadly champion once he gets his core itemization down. Sentinels really did a good job of pushing what advantage they did get with their champions and snowballed that into a pretty darn decisive win. I'd really like to see. Well, honestly, I'd like to see the jungling get matched from the side of Anarchy Purple a little bit better. Either going for slightly less predictable ganks or picking a stronger jungler in general should help with this. Both ways can be executed, and it's not super important on which one, but just making sure that you don't get the runaround by the Warwick again.
Very interesting, and I'm very excited to see these two teams collide one more time here. Let's jump into game, and Hunter, send it away with me to tell me how these lane matchups are going to go and what your predictions are going to be for this game.
All right, now getting into this game, we do see another Ornn pick coming out this time for the side of Anarchy Purple. It'll be matching up against a Cho'Gath with Glacial in the top lane. Now, Glacial Cho'Gath normally means that he's going to be building AP, and with that in mind, the lane matchup into the Ornn's not actually that good for the Cho'Gath. The Ornn's going to be able to nuke him down pretty hard, but the Cho'Gath should rarely, if ever, be able to impact any sort of damage onto the Ornn, especially not after he gets his first few items. The early game Warwick ganks from the jungle should be able to impact that a little bit and allow the Cho'Gath to get some kills thanks to the CC layering. But without a gank, the Cho'Gath should be pretty much hung out to dry while in lane phase. In the jungle, we do see a rematch with the same picks on either team between the Warwick and the Sejuani. As I highlighted going into the game, I'd really like to see the Sejuani go for a slightly less predictable clear pattern and just not open herself up to the early game counter ganks that put Sentinels so far ahead in the first game. In the mid lane, we do see the Syndra coming out this time for the side of Anarchy Purple, going into the big chicken himself in the mid lane. Skater Cat's Galio's coming out. It was really impressive last time we got to watch it, and I'm looking forward to see if he can put the pressure on this map with the roams, the mid-jungle 2v2, and the TPs once again. In the bot lane, we have Caitlyn Soraka going into Varus Karma. These are two of the most obnoxious lanes I can imagine. Just Caitlyn is unassailable in this lane because she can never run out of HP so long as the Soraka doesn't get hit by skill shots. And Karma Varus, it isn't Poke Varus, thankfully, for the side of Anarchy Purple, but it is still Varus. Varus has a really dominating lane phase with really good auto attacks and really good grass, followed up by a Karma who is just going to sit here throwing Qs at you all day and chunking a quarter of your HP just like that. You know what? I got all right, the mid lane name I got it a little bit wrong, but look, it's okay. Sorry about that, buddy. All right, so looking down bot lane, we see a lot of poke coming down from the side of Varus Karma. We see Sejuani wrapping around top, though.
Nice little, but they do get the Cho'Gath flash there. Warwick is also posturing top side. They were both pathing that way. Warwick's just going to be securing the Cho'Gath, making sure he's safe, making sure they might not do that cheesy early tower dive.
Yeah,
and now he's going right into a fight into Sejuani, into the river. They're going to be trying to focus out and really get a 1v1 for the Scuttle Crab. Scuttle Crab early is pretty significant for junglers. They can really snowball a game if they do get them, especially if they get both.
Yeah, and it can be so hard for the Sejuani to be able to 1v1 this Warwick early game. Just between his extra attack speed, the HP gets off of his Q, and just his general prowess in 1v1 in general, it's very hard for the Sejuani to match, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to see the Sejuani go for a different jungle path so that she doesn't get mirrored by the Warwick again. Warwick does get quite a large advantage coming into this game now with almost double the Sejuani's farm at 4 minutes here. And probably going to hit level 4 very quick, while Sejuani still needs to clear quite a few camps to get there herself. Thankfully, though, now we do see the Warwick on the top side, and they're just going to reverse mirror each other, going for the exact same camps straight down the map from this point onward.
Warwick could have gotten Scuttle here, but I think he's going to be backing and then possibly even pathing for the Scuttle into the Gromp, into the Wolf, to really focus down getting that early level 6.
Yeah, exactly. And that the Warwick's going to be super happy with where he is at this game, picking up the early Bomby Cinder to help his wave clear and just his jungle clear in general. Meanwhile, mid lane, we do see this is... I didn't actually get a chance to talk about the actual mid lane matchup too much, I realize, and Galio to Syndra is really hard for Syndra. She's not going to get a lot of opportunities to do damage to the Galio when it's played correctly. And Scattercat in the mid lane, I know, is a very good Galio player and has a lot of proficiency on this pick. It'll be really hard for the Syndra to get the poke down, essentially, just because Galio's going to walk up to the wave, auto at once, and then Q through the melees and the ranged minions, and then he's able to help his jungler. He's got push, and he's got ulti pretty soon, too. It'll be really
Warwick
hard.
is doing that clear, I was just thinking here. And I think he might be posturing towards either an early dragon and or even a gank to the bot side. Nice engage from Galio, knowing that Syndra's good combo, chunking her down. That might force her out of lane, and that should be a free dragon on the side of Team Sentinels. That's a nice ignite there, but there's a heal going out to Soraka. Soraka dodges the Varus Q before she stops. She backs and misses the Q right in front of her face.
I don't know if that was BM or style points.
I'm saying style points. That's style.
See again, coming in top lane. Cho'Gath getting really
nice
low. Ornn coming out.
Here, getting that first blood onto Ornn. Here comes Galio. Baka going to get that nice boar. Extra meat for those thick thighs. Now he's going onto Ornn here. Is it going to be enough damage? They are going to smack each other around, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I don't think either player's going to end up dying here. We see the Cho'Gath TPing back into top lane. But that's exactly what I expect out of this Galio mid lane. Really good TP timings, just matching all of these Sejuani ganks. And it can be so annoying to play jungle into a skilled Galio player, because this is what happens. He still has his ulti up. Next Sejuani gank, if there is one, is going to be matched in the exact same way, because he's always going to have priority mid. And it's because he always has priority mid and has so much CC and damage, they're not going to be able to get scuttles either. He's never going to be able to get river control, and it's just so annoying to play against.
Yeah, we saw in previous matches with the Galio, with Scattercat, and what he's really known for, and what I really admire about this pick here, is his counter gank pressure. He's always putting pressure on the map, and is like a global creature. This is a TF with more CC than TF.
Yeah, well, it really is, actually. Like, you think TF is a problem. This gets more priority, has better mid-jungle 2v2, better ganks, and better roaming. The only issue is it's a little bit worse at pushing turrets late game.
Yeah, but at that point, he's so tanky. It's so hard to murder and so hard to take him down that he's dummy thick at that point.
He is pretty dummy thick at that point.
He is pretty thick. And if we watch this lane, it's going to be very interesting because he spends more time in the side lanes than he does actually pushing down mid.
Yeah, it does feel like that sometimes. We did see the dragon get picked up for the side of Sentinels. After all of that happened, Warwick picks up the early dragon. We will see the Infernal spawning second, and that puts us right at another 50-50 for Cloud, and I can't be happier and more excited.
More Cloud dragons in your life.
We did see the Ornn get his first back off. That doesn't mean much for his items, but it does let him reset his mana pool and HP pool, which is going to be really important for his continued ability to fight the Cho'Gath in this lane. Cho'Gath has his mana item now. And see, that right there is pretty much the only counterplay this Syndra is going to have in this lane. Scatter the Weak, when Galio goes for his Justice Punch in onto her, is going to be the only way that she can actually win a trade, and even then, it still looks pretty impossible.
So it looks like we're gonna have like a quick kind of just reset here. Never mind, Ornn's engaging onto Cho'Gath. This is a 1v1. Sejuani's here as well. Cho'Gath landing the Q onto it, but it's not enough to stop the Ornn ultimate to come down, lock up Cho'Gath. Sejuani comes in, making sure that the Ornn is gonna get bigger, larger, and more in charger.
Yeah, definitely. We do see it's actually a really good timing coming out of the Sejuani gank there. We saw that Scattercat on the Galio was actually edging bot side of the mid lane there and isn't able to ulti up or transition to ulti up there. And because of that, they get the kill. They don't have to deal with the Galio ulti coming in and the massive damage out of him to turn stuff around. He himself getting chunked out in the mid lane by the Syndra because of a couple good trades, and will be forced to back and lose a little bit of wave pressure. And that wave pressure is actually going to turn into the Rift Herald. So, really
Warwick
great
does see this. Is he going to respect? He might try and steal. He does try to, but Smite's a little bit too early. Sejuani is going to respond, making sure that she does pick up the Rift. The Warwick leads with his life. Cho'Gath is here. He is hungry. Galio's coming in, but Kakabaka doesn't get anything quite yet. And are they going to be able to get that? No. No, they are not. The Ornn Q does interrupt the dash from Galio.
That was actually a really sick play by the Warwick there, using his Q to dodge the Syndra ball and just escape hardly with his life, but definitely alive in its own right.
Very well done and very well executed by the team Anarchy Purple. This feels like a whole new team.
Yeah, and it's just that one sequence of plays in mid lane there that give them the ability to get all of what they just got. Galio's transitioning to the bot side of the map, clearing a ward. While he's on that ward, Sejuani gets the gank top lane. Galio goes back mid. Syndra takes a really, really good trade timing onto him. Gets the chunk down, forces him to back. While he's in base, they start Rift Herald with a little bit of river control they can get because of the chunk out mid and the Cho'Gath kill top lane. Get the Rift Herald, almost get the Warwick on the backside as well, and just really, really great play coming out.
Here comes Sejuani. She does try and steal, not quite enough. The Warwick does the reverse of what happened to him to the Rip into Dragon. So Sejuani lives with her life. They do just do a nice disengage here, clear out some wards, and are going to do another quick reset.
And it's a Christmas miracle. We don't have another Cloud Rift. We have
Oh
Ocean
my
coming up.
word! It's
And
our lucky day.
Yeah, and if there's one concern I do have for the side of Anarchy Purple.
Whoa, Warwick ulti into the Galio EQ combo. Very nice, chunking down Syndra. She does get caught out in the jungle, trying to just put in some deep wards to really keep track of where Warwick's going and really watching Galio, but gets punished for doing so.
Yeah. As I was saying, though, if there's one concern I do have for the side of Anarchy Purple, it's going to be whether or not they can... Oh, the more fighting mid. Oh, Galio's getting chunked. Shouldn't die.
Chunking down from Sejuani, but Warwick is here to respond, so he's just gonna walk her away, say, here's the door, get out of my lane, leave my laner alone, he's just trying to farm, and Warwick's just gonna go back to his jungle and do a nice reset here.
Yeah. It's the fact that Anarchy Purple can't get any dragons. They haven't got a dragon in either of the games yet. They're down 2 dragons to 0 again, and while in an individual game, that's not a problem, right now, this isn't a problem. But what it means is if they're not able to contest the next dragon, that's Ocean Soul point. And once Ocean Soul is down, it's going to be nearly impossible to get kills going into this super chunky lineup that Sentinels has. The Cho'Gath, the Warwick, and the Galio, backed up by Karma Shields, are going to be so hard to actually finish off with the constant healing and just practical Mundo ult that they get out of that Dragon Soul.
Yeah, the one thing Sentinels are really notoriously known for is just overall objective control. and really securing down, getting those big buffs, and it really snowballs into late game.
Yeah, and it shows really good map awareness out of them as well. We do see the Ornn getting shoved in by the Cho'Gath here, getting hit by a few too many skill shots, letting his HP drop a little bit, but he is about to complete his first item, and that's going to do a lot in the sense that he won't be able to be killed anymore. He has TP getting out just before the dive looks to come in from the side of Sentinels, but he still has TP to get back and ensure that his turret doesn't take too much damage. We haven't talked too much about this bot lane, but the power of Karma and Varus combined has led to a bit of a CS advantage coming in for the side of Sentinels, but for all that it matters, Caitlyn can still survive in this lane despite the absurd amount of poke, thanks to Soraka heals and her just staying out of it. We haven't seen the first Soraka ulti come out yet, and that's another way to shut down ganks between the Galio ulti and that Soraka
Sejuani's
ulti.
here too, so they might not look for a fight here. Both junglers are really heavily focusing on top lane this game. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't really like it. I think in some way it's respect because of the counter gank that happened so early last game in the bot lane. Not focusing this Varus Karma while they perma push is maybe a concession of the fact that Soraka Caitlyn has no CC effects as well, but it's just got to be really annoying to be playing Caitlyn in this game and be like, where's my jungler? Why don't I have any help? I would really like this Varus Karma to get off my turret for a little bit this game. That, and on top of now the Galio ulti being able to prevent that dive, is just going to be so annoying.
Nice chip damage going down on both sides here. Really just overall brawler fight top side here. Sejuani does show up. The Cho'Gath does flash. The Sejuani just goes in for a nice combo. Takes out the Cho'Gath. That's going to be a free turret for them.
Yeah, and that's a lot of chip damage going down onto the turret. I don't think it will fully kill it here. I think they're just going to choose to reset, shove the wave in, deny a little bit of gold. Cho'Gath doesn't have TP again. Ornn has completed his Abyssal Mask, which means the Cho'Gath is going to have an extraordinarily hard time doing any damage to him, and he's going to be taking a lot more damage from the AoE aura on that as well. That aura is also going to help out the Sejuani and the Syndra, and I guess technically the Soraka, as we get a little bit later into this game. One of the reasons Ornn is so annoying for just that.
Now we got first Ocean Soul Dragon coming up. We see both teams really posturing that they want it. They want to contest it. They really like the Soul. And both teams really benefit from getting Ocean.
Yeah, so for looking into this team fight, we really need to see a good Sejuani ult connect onto someone here to get this engage off before they get poked down by the Varus and the Karma. Core item completions coming out for everyone except for Syndra in this as well, which could be a problem.
There goes the engage. Sejuani does get shut down by the Varus ultimate. In now, Ornn ulting in, trying to just pick up some damage. Galio coming down, knocking up Sejuani. Not able to quite pick off anyone this team fight. They are all well positioned and they equally take out enough damage that both teams just are not killed, but for the side of Sentinels, they do get the dragon.
Yeah, and what's really interesting about the team fight we just saw there is Sentinels weren't going to win that team fight. They knew they weren't going to win that team fight, but they are able to zone it out. Anarchy Purple needs to take the fights slow. They need to slowly chip down the front line, use their Soraka to the best advantage they can, and let Caitlyn get free autos down. And they did that, but Sentinels just disengaged with the dragon after they killed it. So seeing the fact that Sentinels are able to execute their team fights with just proper zone control into running away tells me that Anarchy Purple really needs to be the ones to start the next dragon. But that's going to be so difficult, already down 3 dragons to 1, even in gold. And what are you going to do? You're going to walk into a pit, you're going to get Warwick ulted, and then there's going to be a Cho'Gath knock-up and a Galio ult and a Varus ulti all following that up with Karma speed. And it's just going to be so obnoxious for them to get what they need to do done in this game from that point on.
It's like we have like a reverse swap. So the bot lane and top have gone top, and the top lane has gone bot, really pushing down the turret. The side of Anarchy Purple here really was focused on getting the Shelly, and if Cho'Gath does get this turret, they're going to have to really transition, getting the Shelly, cracking open either mid or another couple turrets top.
Yeah. And this Syndra, too, really needs to find a way into base right now. She's sitting on 2,500 gold, and that's just going to complete her first core item, the Luden's Echo, and then it's going to build either into the startings of Umbrellonomicon, which will need to be completed if this Ocean Soul dies, just to prevent some of that regen healing, or to see the maybe even just an early death cap trying to nuke down the tanks in the front line. It'll be interesting to see what she builds.
So, Hunter, you're telling me before that the team fights are in favor of Anarchy Purple currently here. What do Sentinels need to do to try and counteract that? What's their game plan? What do they need to do to really secure the lead with the amount of dragons they have?
Well, really, it's just that. It's secure the next dragon, and team fights aren't always going to be in favor of Anarchy Purple. Caitlyn falls off in the mid-game really, really hard until she gets some serious items. I'm talking 3, 4 items. Whereas the Varus is just going to keep getting stronger, keep scaling into mid-game really effectively. With every single item he purchases from for the next probably 20 minutes in this game, he's going to be getting a lot stronger. He's going to be changing the way he plays out these team fights. Galio doesn't get too much stronger, but he does get more efficient at what he does. Cho'Gath is going to keep getting more slow items and hopefully some more tank items after that and become a tank in his own right.
Gillen does flash away from this, but I'm not sure if she can run away from a Warwick Galio. They are going to chunk her down. They are going to chase her. Top lane, we do see a little 2v1. Ornn just holding them off his turret like Ornn does best. And Caitlyn did actually get away from the Galio, from the Warwick. They did stop chasing, not having the proper vision on where the Sejuani was, where the Syndra was, where the Soraka was. So good call on them.
Yeah. And I mean, the team fights are really just going to come down to, I guess, an 80 carry slugfest for them in the meantime. The side of Anarchy Purple does just have better team fighting champions. The Sejuani and the Ornn and the Soraka, both, or all 3 of them rather, just destroy team fights if they're played correctly. Whereas on the side of Sentinels, they have a lot of zone control and a fair bit of dive with the Warwick, but they just have less raw power, and what power they do have is harder to execute. So team fights will be, in general, with even gold, advantage to the side of Anarchy Purple for the rest of this game in general. Just need a gold advantage or good positioning, essentially, for the side of Sentinels.
Very well said here. It is almost level 13 for, well, it is level 13 Ornn now. Can we talk about item build and what he's going to be going for and itemization for both teams?
Yeah, of course. So Ornn's almost always going to build into...
1 second, sorry. We got a fight going on here, Hunter. We got a battle. The chicken is fighting the boar. And Cho'Gath is zoning them off. They do want Ocean Soul right here. This is going to be a huge fight. Galio ulti coming in, knocking up Sejuani. Ornn ulti landing a massive Ornn onto all enemies of the enemy team there. And then here comes Galio. They're trying to pick off people, but the Sejuani's just too tanky. The Ornn is trying to fight off the Galio. They're going to be chipping them off. That Ornn is a one-man battle tank, and the 3 members of Anarchy Purple are just going to chunk down everyone else.
And we see a massive Ornn ulti coming out that fight, allowing the side of Anarchy Purple to sneak the Sejuani and win the 50-50 smite fight against the Warwick, picking up their first dragon of this series and denying the Ocean Soul. Now we see them posturing towards Baron, maybe even looking for that. The Syndra is so she's not really going to be a part of this fight if they go for it. But they might be able to pick it up just with constant DPS from the Caitlyn and the Ornn tanking it.
It looks like they're going to do a reset, really count all the eggs in their basket, and make sure, because they know that Sentinels are coming in. They know that they're going to be attacking, and Ornn has a huge buy when he gets back here. He's going to pick up his Sunfire, and it's going to be upgraded because he's level 13. I believe he's level 14 now, so he can actually upgrade one of his allies' items.
Yeah, and we see the Forge Fire Cape coming out for Ornn. As I was mentioning earlier, you almost always see these two items come out on Ornn. It's not because these items are broken in base league, it's because the Ornn upgrades of them are just insanely stat efficient and just worth their, really, literally, their weight in gold. Abyssal Mask is normally a pretty meh or terrible item, depending on who you ask, on most champions. But the Ornn upgrade of it adds something like 2,000 gold worth of stats to it, and just means essentially when Ornn hits level 13 and has both of these items finished for himself, he gets 3.5 thousand gold worth of stats and just goes from being a mediocre champion to being unkillable.
Now they see that the Caitlyn's alone, and Nom Nom Dinosaur taking out the Uwu.
Yeah, and that's one of the things you have to be careful about with this Cho'Gath. His pick potential is going to be really, really high, completing this Hextech GLP, working on his Spooky Ghosts. And with the Glacial Augment, slowing you into a Rupture should be enough to one-shot most of these squishies.
So you see Anarchy Purple slowly, actually they have the lead now and are going to progress. What are the next phases? What are the next steps to take to really snowball into a win here?
For the side of Anarchy Purple?
Purple, yes.
Yeah, so for the side of Anarchy Purple, I think they just need to keep denying these dragons as much as possible and scale as late as possible. Warwick and Galio are both going to start falling off, and eventually Varus will start falling off, but that's not really for quite a while now. Cho'Gath isn't going to get much more in the sense of pick potential, and he's only going to be building tank items, which can be beaten by the late game Caitlyn eventually. And then they just have to play team fights slow like they have been. Get good Ornn ultis, let Caitlyn sit safely in the back line, protect their Soraka, and just use their massive tank advantage versus the lackluster late game champions on the side of Sentinels to just secure the win.
Now you see Sejuani going in. I don't think she got a cut there. If she did land that Q, that would have been an initiation on the side of Anarchy Purple. Syndra landing a nice stun off of Karma and Cho'Gath there. Ornn has joined the fight. You do see Galio down below and Syndra going over to counteract this. Galio does have ulti, so at any moment he could walk up. He also has TP. At any moment he could even TP to his team to really progress for another team fight here.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to look to do from the side of Sentinels here is see if they can find a pick with Warwick ulti on the dive here, and then have the Galio ultis come in so that they can get the 4 versus 5 fight. Even though it's under turret, that only makes it 5 versus 5. And without the Syndra, that's just one more damage source gone, and if they kill the Caitlyn, that just means the fight's over because there's no damage left.
Now, we do see Dragon coming up in about 30 seconds, so at any point right now, you're going to see a massive engage. They do have eyes on Varus. Varus does show top side. If now is the time for the side of Anarchy Purple to engage.
Yeah, this Varus really needs to make his way down here, like, right now, so that this dragon doesn't get taken under their noses.
And there's the engage. Immediately, Karma is out of that fight. Ulti down onto Cho'Gath there. He is stunned up. Are they able to pick him off? Not quite, but they are going to zone him up and possibly get another dragon off of them.
Yeah, and if I were the side of Sentinels here, I'd be booking it to Baron and saying, they are going to get this dragon, but maybe we can force them into a bad decision or sneak this Baron ourselves while they're busy. It's a little bit too late to get there now, but that's another Ocean Dragon going over to the side of Anarchy Purple. They managed to scale out the game again. It's going to keep going longer, at least 5 more minutes until they lose the ability to team fight. And if that dragon never goes down, honestly, I'm not sure if there's a way Sentinels win this game. They really need this Ocean Soul to be able to put that oomph into their team fighting that they need to win. We're not really talking too much about the raw amount of Ocean Dragons because it's not a huge deal.
Oh, Syndra is in danger. Baka Baka Thick Thighs coming in to really punish the Syndra for being alone and takes the kill. Good job, Galio, on taking out Syndra here, but we're going to see what's going to be coming up next.
So what is going on with the Baka Baka thing?
It's the chicken.
Yeah, is that the sound that chicken? Okay. All right. All right. All right.
You know?
All right.
You feeling it?
I'm not, but
You're not
you
feeling
are,
it?
so it's
I'm
okay.
feeling it. I'm feeling it. Wow!
All right. So, um, really, from the side of Sentinels here, Varus is doing damage. So yeah, as I was saying, the Ocean Dragons aren't going to make too much of a difference as far as the way this game plays out until someone gets Ocean Soul. The one exception to this is with 2 and certainly with 3 Ocean Dragons, the side of Anarchy Purple is just going to be immune to Karma Poke, and Karma's going to lose that edge of her champion. But even then,
We
Karma's
see Warren
falling
ultimate
off
into a Sejuani ultimate. They are trying to pick off Varus, they zone him off, but I don't think they're going to really contest knowing that both of our ultimates are down. And it looks like they're just going to look for a quick zone, quick reset, quick warding fest here, and they are going to really try and pressure that Baron.
Yeah.
And we might even try and take it here.
Yeah, they're going to pressure it, start baiting it. Cho'Gath is up top side on the flank, seeing if he can get into this, looking for the Warwick engage into the Galio ult combo for the first time this game.
Here we go. So we see Sejuani being chunked out here for you. Varus had a nice ulti down onto Ornn that almost sent 2 enemy on the side of Anarchy Purple, but they did disengage properly and are able to leave with their lives with a pretty nice health advantage. Like that, the double Ocean Soul is pretty nice here.
And you're forgetting the Soraka too, right? The Soraka just makes... That's actually something I guess I didn't consider. Soraka just regenning her own HP because of Ocean Dragons is really obnoxious, actually. She can't run out of mana, she can't run out of HP, especially not when the third one comes here, if the third one does indeed get picked up by the side of Anarchy Purple. And yeah, so we just see in the support role even, the support's getting outscaled. Soraka is one of the hardest scaling supports in the game, alongside things like Sona and Yuumi. And this Karma just can't keep up. Karma's a slow, and she's got a shield that shields for half of what Soraka heals for. And that's just, that's not EV positive, as they say. It's not good for the side of Sentinels, and they really need to find a way in the next minute and 15 seconds to get onto this Ocean Dragon and secure it. We see Varus has finally picked up some healing reduction to counter the Soraka a little bit. I'd like to see more healing reduction coming out from somewhere on the side of Sentinels, especially with the possibility of the Anarchy Purple side picking up Ocean Soul. But I don't know if that's too much of a concern, because if that happens, I think this game's just going to be over.
What do you think for this both teams here? What are they looking for? What do they want? Does one team want picks? Does one team want a team fight? Do they both want a team fight? How are they going to collide?
I mean, there's no way about it other than taking a team fight from the side of Sentinels, but they definitely don't want team fights. They don't want to have to fight into this much better team fight comp, into the Ornn, into what, despite what the scoreboard says, a massive gold differential. Because
here we go. A nice engage onto Sejuani. They do pick her off pretty cleanly here. A nice Ornn ultimate, knocking up 2 people into a good Syndra E. It doesn't quite pick off the Varus. We do see the Caitlyn ulti coming in from the back. They are chunking them down. The Warwick's in the front line. The Galio, and how he goes now, does knock up Ornn here, and he falls immediately down to an Ornn QE combo. Syndra is going to keep doing damage. Nico Knee takes out the dinosaur, going in onto Varus. Nice combo again, once again from Ornn, really isolating the Varus. Varus goes down, and this is going to go 3 for 3 Dragon.
Yeah, and we saw that fight. The Sejuani getting picked off at the beginning there is exactly what Sentinels need. But they can't disengage. They don't get out in time, despite a really, really fancy-looking QSS from the Varus. They can't get away from the Ornn engage and the Syndra engage, and just the follow-up coming out of the side of Anarchy Purple. That fight was 4 versus 5, and I don't even think they used much to kill the Sejuani, and it doesn't matter. It's just, the fight is too hard to take. The team is just, really, they've outscaled at this point, and it comes down to that, right? That's Caitlyn has an upgraded Infinity Edge. There's a Rabadon's Death Crown on the Syndra. The Ornn is generating so much gold.
Whoa!
And Karma's
Whoa,
dead.
there goes Karma. There goes Shogath taking the Baron with the noms. And then they do get a double kill. Quick cleanup there. They may have stolen the Baron, but they will not leave with their lives.
Yeah, it's a nice steal, and it works out nicely that they get the Baron from the Cho'Gath ult. Maybe a bit overeager on the side of Anarchy Purple to deal too much damage to it, but it doesn't matter. There's one Baron buff alive. I don't think that Varus is going to survive very long, I'm going to be honest. He looks like he might be able to kill a sword, but
he coming in, but the Varus does take him out. Incredible shutdown by Varus.
the Soraka just decided that he wanted the Ornn to die, didn't press R, and no one rotated to help him. But even with that, it doesn't matter. At this point, like, the side of Anarchy Purple is going to be far too tanky, and the only damage dealer on the side of Sentinels is going to be this Varus. He's doing his best to build items. He's probably building into the Runaan's right now, trying to be able to hit 2 or 3 frontliners at once. But you saw that Ornn just walked into that Varus and took a turret from what was essentially 25% HP, and then almost had enough damage to kill the Varus afterwards. And still had Soraka ult. And still, he didn't even have ulti there, right? It's just, it's going to be so difficult for this Varus to output enough damage to win these team fights, especially coming into this Soraka. Like, if you're not picking off the Soraka, I don't know how you win a fight at this point.
Ornn is definitely going in. Ram, bam, thank you, ma'am, and really just chunking down this team.
Yeah. Moving into what is going to be probably our last team fight of the game around this Ocean Soul point for both teams. It's really hard to say. I mean, I want to just say that it's practically a guaranteed win for the side of Anarchy Purple if it's a straight up team fight. But the Varus is getting strong. He did complete his Runaan's actually, which I just taught, which is really massive for his DPS output in these team fights. Being able to hit 2 people at once with his not only his healing reduction but also his on hits is going to be really, really big. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Sejuani and Warwick both match each other in levels right now. If one of them gets
the dinosaur and the chicken have been spotted out. The dinosaur went the wrong way, found the Ram. Here's the Sejuani. Ultimate coming in from Ornn there. He doesn't quite get it because he was stunned off of Sejuani. And here goes Soraka, really healing up the Warwick. The Warwick is too tanky, too healy, and he's just going to keep attacking there. Oh, Warwick goes down. There goes Cho'Gath from the Caitlyn.
What's going to happen Soraka in these team fights?
She is healing. She is unstoppable.
She hasn't taken damage yet. And everyone's just full HP on the side of Anarchy Purple. And this Soraka is just like nutting on this game. There's nothing that can be done against her right now. She has no deaths on Soraka. Going into what is a pretty heavy CC team comp, just really great positioning coming out of her, constantly standing behind her carries and
whoa! There goes Karma. There's the Syndra. Good combo with their QE, taking out. And then, are they going to be able to pick up the Varus here? They do land a Syndra ultimate onto Varus. They aren't able to quite take him out. He's got about 10% HP. There goes the Nico. She's going in, auto-attacking Varus, taking him down. The chicken's in danger. Is he gonna live? No, he's not. There's the bubble from Syndra. There they go. They're attacking Warwick. Warwick goes down. Are they gonna get the dinosaur? Dinosaur trying to run away. Here comes Aurora. There goes the Zanya. They're going in. They're gonna take him out. They're going in for Nexus. They're gonna win the game. GG, Anarchy Purple.
Yeah, just really good representation of what it looks like to outscale in the game. We see that coming out in quite a few of our games, where one team will just... Well, it's insurmountable. We saw the gold was even this game for most of it. Doesn't look like it on the endgame screen here with the 7k gold advantage to Anarchy Purple. But for the vast, vast majority of this game, there was no realistic gold advantage on the scoreboard. All of the gold advantage comes out from the Ornn with just looking at the items he upgraded. He didn't even upgrade an item on the Sejuani or on the Soraka, and the gold advantage from the Ornn items is still 5,000-6,000 gold, and it's just so hard to beat that from an opposing team without a massive gold advantage. And he's so good at team fighting on top of that you can almost never team fight into an Ornn comp once they get items on their carries. And that's really what we saw here. The Varus did his absolute darndest to try and kill things, but it's not good enough. There's nothing to be done here, and Anarchy Purple take the late game victory.
Very well said there, Hunter. It was a great game, good series. And Hunter, give me your quick input on the series as a whole, as well as MVP and ace of this game.
Absolutely. So starting with MVP and ace for this game, MVP has to go to the Soraka. Just having 0 deaths on Soraka is a boon in itself, and she just played these team fights so well going into the late game, never getting killed in laning phase, and just kept her team healthy the entire game. As far as ace goes, I'm looking at Varus for this. He did his best. He got a massive CS advantage in lane phase in conjunction with the Karma, and did everything he could in team fights, but everything you can is just not enough when you're this outscaled. The series on a whole, really interesting comps coming out. We saw that Ornn won both games, and that's not too much of a surprise for me. Ornn really helps, especially in amateur level gameplay. He's super powerful and competitive as well, of course, but in amateur level, where teams aren't always able to close a game immediately or perfectly, Ornn just gives you such a nice scaling advantage and such a nice fallback in the late game. So long as your carries are building items he can upgrade and are able to output damage in team fights, he gives you a near guaranteed team fight advantage past 25 minutes.
Very interesting, very fun games all around from Anarchy Purple versus Sentinels. GG, well played. When we come back, we're going right into the Shurima division. Team Dandelion Knights versus Taco Taco's Taco Truck.